Thank you for having me today. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aline Berbari. I'm the International Tax Manager in Joseph Ribkoff. It's a beautiful jewel from Montreal. We do fashion garments for women. And I'm here to talk today about the best practices in the industry, setting up your tax team, boosting up your tax team with insights in how it's becoming the future function in VAT. So, in the agenda today, we're going to be talking about setting up the team, boosting it up. When I say boosting it up is not only how to help your team getting elevated, but also what is the team, what does it need from technology perspective? How do we make it function better within the new environments that we're going through, and how it's being transformed? When I started 10 years ago in one of my functions, and when I started maybe 20 years ago, because I'm not very young, so. The function in VAT was not what we see today. And a little wink about women and where we are evolving. So you're gonna see that you have green cards and red cards. Red cards are not for football today. It's because just so I'm gonna be asking a question, and green is yes, red is no. So, just to start, are we having here tax practitioners in-house? Green, yes, no. In-house. Okay. What I'm trying to say by in-house, do you work in an environment, in a closed environment, not in a service environment? Yes, no, like my role. In commercial, thank you. And Liz, I think from Meta. This is what I'm trying to say, because I wanted you to know that from our perspective, the way we see things is not exactly the way when we are working with tax technology and with tax practitioners, advisory, it's not the same insight that we have. So, how do we start a tax team? You need to identify your tax department. Identification of a tax department is really, really key. You need to have to define a tax vision. So this starts usually when I started my career, and all the insights I'm giving you here are based on my practice, my colleagues' practices, and also some readings I've done before. Vision starts by setting your goals. Where do I want to be in 3-4 years as a tax department? What is the name of my tax department? Am I known to be a tax department that is only for compliance? Am I here to support the business? Am I here to become a big team, a small team? Where am I heading? And this is something that we set usually from the moment we set a tax department. Why am I saying this for you today? Because in my career and in my practice, many times I was only the tax department. I was the only person working on advisory. And when I started to do the vision of the tax department, I told my for example, bosses back then, I don't want to be the only person. I want to have people on board. So let's work on this vision and make it higher and bigger. Understands perspective and expectations. When the moment we take a lead in a tax team, you need to know your stakeholders. You need to know what they want from you. What is it they expected from you? And what is the vision that you have with them? Where are we heading? What are their perspectives? What are their needs? Because our role internally is to answer them and is to actually give them a service from our own practice and from our own knowledge. So you need to have them on board with you and make them also come to you. Assess effectiveness. I joined Joseph Ribkoff a year ago. 2 days ago was a year ago. My team is a little bit spread, but I had to know who is my team, how effective they are, where are their competencies, what do they do, how can I make them feel better, and how can we grow all together. It's one of the first key elements when you are taking a lead in a tax department and we're setting it up. Prioritize opportunities. So from the moment we start to put those three elements together, I start to see opportunities. Oh, I have a problem probably in AP. How can I make it my priority? Is this priority or is this AR priority? Do I want to Do I want to prioritize cash flow in VAT function, or do I want to prioritize compliance in VAT function? Develop initiatives and mobilize. When I say initiatives, is come with solutions. Always have solutions. Talk to your people from different departments, finance, shared services, IT, mobilize them, bring them to you and tell them, I need you for this project. I've seen this opportunity, we're having this problem. Let me talk to advisor, external advisor, tax technology provider, and I need you on it. So you need to mobilize them towards your needs. Confirm the department's commitment. What does this mean? For me, commitment means that I have a vision. I'm setting up a team. I want to give a message to the business. VAT in the old life was usually taken as a cost and the project stopper. Today, my commitment in my department, I am never a project stopper. I will never stop you from doing any transaction. I will just make sure that if you want to do it, we're going to be compliant and we're going to do it in the best way, in the best functionality possible. If we have to raise any risk, then I will raise it and I will materialize it. Just want to say, like, to the business, I'm not here to stop you from doing your own business. And that's very important, because many times in the past, where I used to work in a company in Montreal, when people said, oh, let's speak to Aline, oh, no, she's going to say no, I don't want to say no just to say no. It's because we really need to be compliant and we really need to set our priorities. Nowadays, no, I'm a solution maker. That's my job. What are the attributes that we look for in a tax team? You need your team to be technically strong, but business-oriented. Being technically strong, that means that they know the law, they're wanting to practice the law, but they want to make sure that the business is not stopped by saying, no, the directive Article 143 does not allow me to do that. How can I make it happen? This is what you need. You need a team that does not stop you also from growing. Strong knowledge of the company's business products and system. Key element. I came to Joseph Ribkoff, I started. And before that, I was working in-house. I worked in-house for a long time. My success was always people who knew their business and the products and the systems we have. Because when we are in a VAT function today, I am not only doing tax policy, I'm not only doing tax audit, I am also looking at my system. How am I doing my invoicing? We were just talking about e-invoicing today. If I don't know my system, if my team does not know what's going on in my system, we're not going to be able to do e-invoicing. We cannot be compliant. So that's a key element for us. Collaborative and teamwork oriented. We work in silos, okay? Business always work in silos. That's how it is. You have shared services, accounts payable want to make sure that they have enough money coming in the bank account, that people are paying, and we have our VAT refunds. Accounts receivable wants to make sure they send the invoice to get the money. IT wants to make sure the projects are going. But we're all here to work together. So my target in my team is to make sure that my team is speaking to the other team members of every business unit, and they work together all the time. And also, they're not working in silos. If one is doing VAT refund or VAT return, she's not only working on her own, but yet she's also talking to advisory and asking questions. And they all work together, they share the knowledge. Willing to learn and curious. Why? Because in my practice, I've seen many people doing their daily job. They're here from 9 to 5, they go home. Oh, yeah, but Jessica told me to do that. Or, yeah, I've seen this and someone called me and they told me this is how we do it. Why don't you just research it yourself? Why aren't you curious to learn? Aren't you curious to know? We provide softwares for skills, for knowledge skills. Use them. That's what I say to my team today. I was able to get them a few softwares of knowledge research. And I push them to use it. I ask Christiana, my teammate, I tell her, can you please do this research? Not because I can't, because I want her to go, type the words, read, and get the grasp of the knowledge and grow within the knowledge. The young people of today, they want easy solutions. They want it fast, they want to get to the results, and they want to move on. And I'm old school, and I'm sorry to say that, but I think this is how we grow as well. Adapt to change. A lot of people, a lot of team members are not able to change. They're, oh, but we used to do this like this. Does it mean that we were doing it wrong? No, but the law changed. The technology changed. The approach changed. Why don't we adapt to it? Let's move on. You cannot only do things 5 years and just never change it. It's very important to be able to have someone in your team that is adapting to change. Good communication skills and negotiation, that's a key one. You need to always have at least one person who is calm, who knows how to talk and how to address the tax authorities. Because in-house, what we do, we also manage audits. And we need to have a good communication skill. If you're talking with the Germans, you need someone who speaks German. If you're talking with the French, you need someone to speak properly with the French. You need to understand also the mindset. Communication is not only the language, it's also the chemistry between the team and between stakeholders. Capable and enthusiastic users of technology, yes, because we make a lot of changes. And when the change arrives, they don't want to use technology. They want to sometimes adapt to other measures like they were doing before. Technology is fast. Nowadays, we're fast. If they're not users, they're still using the same method like before. The report I'm generating maybe is not really up to date, and they don't know that. They need to be able to be enthusiastic and capable of doing it. What is the attributes looked in a head tax? People like me, like Liz, rigorous, but not blinded by detail. I'll give you an example here, a very quick example. We see the out-large business in our function. And in silos, we have people working in VAT returns in some countries and subsidiaries. One of my colleagues in Bulgaria, which is a very, very difficult tax authority jurisdiction, she wanted me to do it in a certain way. I cannot be blinded by your own detail. I need to make sure that I am following our business, but I have a wider, large jurisdictions to look at. So I cannot just follow your method. I need to be sure like I'm doing it right for everybody else. Strong leadership skills. Leadership here means not taking the lead on things only by being a coach. You need to teach your team how to function. You need to show them how they are with their soft skills. This is, for me, leadership. Communicator with tax and non-tax. With tax people, we are all here tax people. So if I mention any article of the directive of the European Union, you will understand it. And we will be able probably to debate 2 hours about it. But when you have a person who is a data clerk from accounts receivable, who is making mistakes every time she enters a mention on an invoice, we have to be able to communicate it and to explain it to her. Commercial brings visibility to team, proactive and innovative. Commercial, I need to sell my presence in the company. I need to tell, I'm here. Don't call people outside before you talk to me. Don't speak to tax auditors before you talk to me. Don't take tax decisions before you talk to me. This is, I'm here, my team is good, we're doing a good job, so please talk to us. Brings visibility to the team. One of my colleagues, we had a meeting with the CEO. I really wanted to put light on her. She's just a junior girl in our department. And I told Mr. Emmanuel, oh, by the way, I present you to her. And she felt so nice because I brought visibility from where she's doing back up to the CEO. Team player to develop and achieve company's tax strategy. It's important to always have a tax strategy on every project we're working on. And we really need to go forward to it and to manage to be working all together. You need to develop all the team players with you, and you need to develop a method of doing it. Ability to influence peers, teams, and colleagues of all levels, seniority. I don't know if I can convince people all the time. I don't know if I can make them follow you all the time. I do my best. And this comes with credibility, with knowledge, and with communication. You need to show your peers and high management that you're here, you're doing them a favor and you're helping them. We're all in the same boat. We're all doing everything together. So you need to convince them. I don't know if I really influence them all the time, but what I know that the girls who are working with me and the young people who are working at our company, they really come always to me for questions. So at least I have this attribute. The roles that we cover in-house: tax policy development and position, tax audit management, governance and risk management, planning and compliance, tax accounting and other indirect taxes, and global mobility. Why am I putting them all here? Because when you deal with your clients who are in-house tax people, you need to be aware of all what they do inside. You need to know when they, in their approach, this is what they have on their daily task every single day. We look at all this every single day. Tax accounting, I have a GL account. Does it go into this subsidiary or do I have to put it on that subsidiary? How am I gonna segregate my accountancy? Other indirect taxes, plastic taxes, environment taxes, this all comes into in our function. And not all the time we shed light on it. When you come to your clients, it's also good to know that they have other probably issues. Maybe in your tax technology or in your tax advisory, it will give us a solution. Boosting the tax team. Boosting the tax team, a question for you. Do you believe in internal training? Awesome, perfect, thank you. Boosting tax team is by empowering and engaging the team members regardless of their roles. So it could be a person who is doing the VAT return, and it could be the person who is managing the team with me, or it could be someone who's responsible of tax policy. We need to listen to the needs of the team, especially the new generation. They come to me. Yeah, but you know, we have this tax platform, we can do this. No, this is too long. We need to listen to them because after all, when I go, and I leave my legacy, they're gonna take care of it. So I need to know, and I need to put in my mind that this person has also new insights. That does not mean that what I've done before or what I'm listening from my advisors outside is the key. They have also a word to say, and we need to always implicate them with it. Share important information. When we have information in the company and we get internal information from the company, it's important to tell them. It's not a secret. Listen, I had a meeting with corporate accounting today. They saw a problem. Maybe I will need you. Just know we're working on it. It gives them just this slightest presence they have in the team. Implement them in high strategic project. I always do that. No matter what the project is, I will always bring someone from the low, kind of data entry persons. And I will tell them, hey, Lisa, for example, yes, Lisa, we have this problem. Do you think you can help me with it? Can you find a solution? Maybe she's not going to be able to do it, but it elevates them in the team. Invest in professional trainings and learning. This is what we all said here. I think we all agree on that. That's a key thing. But the problem we face in-house is that we have sometimes no time, especially now the things are going too fast. Technology is going too fast. Adapting to the changes are too fast. We have no time in it. We really need to create the time. And also sometimes higher management does not believe in it. So we always need to push them a little bit. Emphasize the importance of self-development and training adaptability in the face of evolving tax landscape. So self-development and tax landscapes. I need to tell my team, you need to develop yourself. You need to read more. You need to know more. Call your peers. There is I don't know, like 5 to 7, we call it 5 à 7 with the beer or something. Just go, it's okay. It's gonna give you some presence. It's self-development. Push them to be able to do that, but give them the space. You'll see, like in one of my slides I put to also give them some space. Ensure that we have adaptability to tax technology. That's a key thing. I think we've already spoke about it. Explore the role of effective communication in VAT and tax. That's also very good. You need to make sure communication rules. What are the words I use? What are the words I do not use? And always read what is going out from your tax department, just to make sure that the communication is being done properly. That's what I just did. Present to high management and allow them to be visible. I think I've told you that. Giving them space for some self-development. And I've told you, like, give them to self-develop, but also give them the space to do it at their own pace. When after 1 year, when you do your KPI and the person does not meet, then probably the objectives, then we have a talk and we try to work around it, because it's key importance. In a tax position, you need to always self-develop yourself, and you always need to be knowing what's going on with novelties. Sharing ownership and team building, I always do that. We have once every then we have a team learning sessions. I train them internally. I train not only the tax department, I train IAP, I train AR, sales, master data. You have no idea how sometimes master data needs to be trained about the way they enter the data and how this is becoming as a consequence on my invoices. And that's where we need people like you when we are doing the business internally. VAT function transformation. Do you think VAT had transformed in the last 10 years? Yes. Thank you. The transformation happened. Do you think it's only technology? We all agree. Perfect. The red is... So how to modernize the VAT function considering the transformation that we're having today? You need to know your processes. You need to identify your processes. You need to need the technology that will help you to get to your point. Lisa, you were right. I'm at 3 minutes, so I'll probably take a few minutes more. You were totally right about that. Thank you. So you need to know the processes. You need to know what technology you can use and how to make it happen to get to your point. And that's a key measure when you do it in a team environment. Data management. We spoke about data management. We spoke about, and this is what you guys do on day-to-day business. I don't do that on day-to-day. Data management is very important. Back in the days, my VAT function was, I have an auditor who is coming on premises. I meet with him. I give him the, I don't want to say crappiest, but really the crappiest place he could have in the company, very far from finance. He runs the reports, gives them to me, and then I go to share services, and then we talk. This is not what I do now. What I do now, I do my data management. I run my own report. I see my mistakes, and I call to be able to function and to correct them. This is my function right now, what I do. And that's what I do it on a daily basis. I think I've started doing this 5 years ago. Tax operating models, it's very important to know how you're operating internally, how master data is doing the information, where do they collect it, where do you have a problem in the operation? Is it when I enter a VAT number with the FR or ES, why the system doesn't take it? I need to speak to IT. You need to have always IT by your side. And trust me, IT could be by your side, but could be your worst enemy internally. You always need them by your side. Sustainability and efficiency. We need to be efficient and sustainable. Sustainable is, I want to make sure I'm taking the right measures. I'm always compliant. Always pay on time. These are the two key measures. Doing it efficiently, regardless of the mistakes that probably I could have, because maybe then I will be able to correct my reports and make an adjustment. Real-time reporting is probably one of the things that we're facing most right now. I used to have time to manage my data. I used to have time to read, correct, and then get a report. Today, I can't do that with real-time reporting. Actually, the authorities know my mistakes before I even know them, before IT would be able to identify them to me. And that's one of the most important points that we're working on right now, at least since I arrived at Joseph Ribkoff, is to make them understand that more and more we're gonna be having real-time reporting, maybe not at our level because we're a small, medium company, we're not like Meta, but it's gonna come. And I need to start working the mindset of the IT team and of the finance department. Tax operations, what do we do? Do we do planning? Do I do only VAT recovery? Do I do only compliance? What is the tax operations that I do internally in the tax department? And efficiency in the processes, this is where we need tax engines and VAT compliance platforms, because now time is the key. Government, they know more than us what's going on. They have sometimes more efficient platforms and tax technology. And I'm talking about it from North American perspective. In Europe, I've been to a lot of events, and I've been working in Europe for the last 7 years of my life. And I see that in Europe, you are ahead of time than us, especially in Canada. I'm Canadian, my company is Canadian. We do see lacking of tax technology. We have IT people who are doing great job, not only at Joseph Ribkoff, but wherever I worked before. But yet, we're not there yet. The authorities are not there yet. So we're taking this just time and just kind of putting it back. But it's gonna hit us one day because we're in global. I can't wait eternally. Tax system management, automation and analytics, digitalization of communication, data reporting. All this is AI and robotics. This is what we're looking for in the new functions of a VAT person. This is what CFOs are looking for in the new VAT functions. I've been reading reports about the OECD. I've been reading reports of North American companies, how they're looking at it from a new perspective, and even European. They want someone to be able, I have a system, it runs it for me, it tells me my mistake, and you, Aline, just correct it. But Aline, who studied law, who did all this, who knows the VAT, she cannot do that anymore. So this is where we're heading in the new functionality. And that's why it's very important that I talk to you today about this. The wrap up about all what I'm telling you here is important, because when you talk to us and you come to us, you need to understand that this is where we're heading with you, yet we're still not there. We need you to help us to convince the management and to be able to have a vision where we're heading. Women in VAT function. Why did I'm talking about women in VAT? I'm not a feminist at all. That's not the aim. Tomorrow's International Women's Day. But I've seen the change we made on the ground. When I started, I think I started in 2005, my peers and my management was all made of men. And the women, very little, really few women were my pioneers. And I was looking at them, they were my role models. Today in the morning, we had only 3 men speaking. We were all women. That's a huge shift and change in our society. And that's very important. Yet, you'd be surprised that despite it all, we still have issues. So tomorrow, we're celebrating Women's International Day, and that's the theme. Inspire inclusion, count her in, accelerating gender equality through economic empowerment. What we see today is that women, no matter what we do, maybe we're lucky in Europe, but in many countries, in the same function, we still don't have the same empowerment economically. And this year, really, the world wanted to shed light on it. However, how many of you women here struggle with work-life balance? Why? Why? If you have a partner in life, why do we always do that? Is it something that you think it's something in you, or is it the society? Do you think it's a problem that you have within yourself? You want to control everything. Lisa, you're the only one answering, so I have 3 answering. Interesting. So I think, from my perspective, I think that today, the work-life balance issue is us. It's probably not society where we're heading. We still have a lot to give and to do, and we have still a lot for women to have place. But I think it's within ourselves. We need to change from within. Personality expectations. Did you know that all women in many high positions, they still believe they have to behave like men, they have to speak like men, and men do not take them seriously? That's a woman thing. I mean, we need to change from our own perspective. There is a program that I found with OECD that is, it's the 3rd edition this year. It's called Women Leaders in the Tax and Transparency Program. And it starts from March to November. And I really found it interesting, because what they do is they gather women in tax practice, but tax leadership. And they all speak together, and they put light on the practice in taxation first, and where we all stand as women. So I found it a very nice initiative from the OECD that we're seeing that the society is shifting. And that's it. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.